Good morning. My name is Hope Hogan, and I am the Administrative Law Judge that's been designated upon the request of the Public Service Commission to serve as a hearing officer for this hearing. Let the record show that it is May 9th, 2023 at 9:02 a.m. This is the time, date, and place set by the notice of filing and notice of hearings issued by the North Dakota Public Service Commission on February 1st and March 30th, 2023, for hearings in case number PU-22-391. Today's hearing is being held at the Emmons County Courthouse Auditorium in Linton, North Dakota. As we begin our hearing today, I'd ask that everybody please check your cell phones to make sure they're either silenced or turned off so that we don't have cell phone interruptions as we proceed today. There's an attendance sheet that I believe is there just one? On both sides of the room. The commission would ask that you please sign in so that they have a record of everybody that attended today's hearing. This is the fourth of 5 hearings scheduled regarding an October 17, 2022 application of SCS Carbon Transport LLC for Certificate of Corridor Compatibility and Route Permit concerning approximately 320 miles of carbon dioxide pipeline ranging from 4.5 to 24-inch diameter and associated facilities located in Burley, Cass, Dickey, Emmons, Logan, McIntosh, Morton, Oliver, Richland, and Sargent counties, North Dakota. This hearing has been scheduled to focus primarily on the portions of the project located in Emmons, Logan, and McIntosh counties. The notice of filing and notice of hearing specified the following issues to be considered concerning the application for waiver of procedures and time schedules. Number 1 are the proposed facilities of such length, design, location, and purpose that they will produce minimal adverse effects and that the adherence to applicable procedures, requirements, and time schedules may be waived. And number 2 is it appropriate for the Commission to waive any procedures or requirements and time schedules as requested in the application. Concerning the application for Certificate of Corridor Compatibility and Route Permit, issues to be considered are: first, will construction, operation, and maintenance of the facility at the proposed location produce minimal adverse effects on the environment and upon the welfare of the citizens of North Dakota? Number 2, is the proposed facility compatible with environmental preservation and the efficient use of resources? And finally, number 3, will construction, operation, and maintenance of the facility at the proposed location minimize adverse human and environmental impact while ensuring continuing system reliability and integrity and ensuring that energy needs are met and fulfilled in an orderly and timely fashion? I'm now going to ask the parties to make their appearance for the record. Mr. Bender, do you want to state your appearance for the record, introduce who's seated at the table with you, and identify the witnesses you intend to call today?
Thank you, Judge Hogan. Lawrence Bender, P.O. Box 1855, Bismarck, North Dakota, and I'm appearing in this matter on behalf of SCS Carbon Transport LLC. To my immediate right is Mr. John Godfrey. Mr. Godfrey is one of the witnesses we plan on calling later today. To Mr. Godfrey's right is Mr. Brett Duplinsky. Mr. Duplinsky is a lawyer with Frederickson and Byron out of our Iowa office. Our first witness that we intend to call is Mr. James Powell. And I guess the other 2 witnesses we've listed as witnesses, Mr. Godfrey is a witness, and help me out, who's the second witness?
Bill Oakes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Pelham, do you want to state your appearance for the record and introduce staff that's appearing with you today?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Zachary Pelham, Special Assistant Attorney General. To my left is Victor Shook, who is Public Utility Analyst with the PSC. He may have questions today, and we ask that he be permitted to ask questions as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And now I'm going to ask the interveners to this case to make their appearance for the record. Mr. Bakke, would you like to state your appearance for the record and identify the witnesses you intend to call today?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Randy Bakke from the law firm of Bakke, Grinolds, Wiederholt in Bismarck, and I represent intervener John Warford Sr. To my right is paralegal Kate Fink from my office, and the witnesses we will be calling today are Jerry Briggs, Curtis Junt, and also former Mayor of Bismarck, Steve Bakken.
All right, thank you. Mr. Leibel, do you want to state your appearance for the record and identify the witnesses you intend to call today?
Sure, Your Honor. My name is Steve Leibel from the Bismarck law firm of Knoll Leibel. I represent a number of different landowner interveners along with Brian Jordy of Domina Law. The witnesses we intend to call today are Pam Schonert, Ann Bernhard, Steve Lane, Linda Gaiman, and Kevin Bernhardt, and also David Locken. And these are all landowners. Some of them are from Burleigh County, which I know we're making an effort to avoid having a huge hearing in Bismarck at the end, and that's why some of our people are testifying here.
All right, thank you. And then finally, Mr. Pranis, would you like to state your appearance for the record and identify any witnesses you plan to call today?
Thank you, Judge Hogan. Kevin Pranis on behalf of Leona, Minnesota, and North Dakota, representing construction workers who build infrastructure, including pipelines. And we will be calling Mr. Evan Whiteford for a few additional questions today.
All right, thank you. By a show of hands, anyone who plans to provide public testimony, can you raise your hand so I have an idea of how many people would like to testify today? All right, thank you, and I won't hold you to that. So if you decide later today you want to provide public testimony, you certainly can. We're going to handle public testimony different than we have for the other hearings for this case. Testimony from the public will be taken throughout the hearing today. It's my understanding a large portion of the party witnesses to be called today are from the interveners. And to balance the time we have today with intervener witnesses and the public testimony, I'll be interspersing blocks of public testimony throughout our hearing. So following the summit's opening witness and one of the intervener witnesses, we'll have a 1 hour block for public testimony, and I would ask that persons attending from the counties this hearing is intended to focus on should come forward first to provide testimony. And then the remaining public testimony will be followed in approximately 1 hour blocks throughout our hearing today. If you do wish to provide public testimony, I'd ask that you indicate that on the attendance sheets just so I have a better idea of how many people we have that want to provide that testimony today. I encourage you to take this opportunity to tell the commissioners what you think is important about this matter, but I would ask you to limit your testimony to the construction and effect of the pipeline. I'd also ask that you try not to repeat concerns previously testified to, especially from somebody that's similar situated to you. It would be more time efficient to just say you agreed with the previous testimony. Due to the amount of testimony that we need to get through today, I'd ask that you try to limit your public comments to approximately 10 minutes. The goal today is to have a safe and orderly hearing in which many voices are given the opportunity to be heard. I'll provide further instructions regarding providing public testimony when we get to that portion of our hearing today. It's now time for opening comments from the commissioners, and we'll start with Commissioner Chrisman.
Thank you, Your Honor, and I'm going to be a little more brief than usual in order to try and save time. But I do want to emphasize to people who aren't regulars at these things that this is an important part of our process. The much easier and more convenient thing for us to do would be to stay and have our hearings in Bismarck. and have people come. But part of our whole evaluation process involves hearing from the people. And our goal, our job in this role is not to see that projects get built or to stand in the way of projects specifically. Our job is to evaluate projects that come before us, see if they meet the requirements of the law as the legislature has laid it out, and if they do, they should be approved. If they don't, they should not be approved. But part of that whole process where we can make the best possible decision, because that's our goal, based on the law, and part of that is hearing from the people that are directly impacted. So we like to get out and hear from folks. That's why this is our fourth hearing. We had one in Bismarck, we've had one in Gwenner, we had one in Wahpeton, and now here in Linton. And so look forward to hearing that, and that's why the judge has moved up so that because of so many interveners in this case and the length of testimony, it gets into the evening before the public even gets a chance. So I appreciate Your Honor doing that and bringing some public folks up kind of throughout the day so they don't have to wait so many hours. And I especially want to highlight, sometimes we have elected officials come and I haven't seen them yet, but it's bright up here when I look out into the crowd. But I do know that specifically Senator Jeff Magrum has been very involved in this process. And if I don't see you, Jeff, but if he's not here, I'm certain that he will be. And our North Dakota State Agriculture Commissioner, Doug Goring, is here. And I appreciate that. If you decide to testify, I know you know the agriculture industry well. This project would cover a lot of agricultural territory, including very diverse types of territory, all the way from the Red River Valley over to Oliver County in southwest North Dakota. So appreciate everyone here, but I did want to give a shout out to those two individuals specifically.
Thank you. Commissioner Haugen-Hoffert.
Good morning, everyone. It is good to see so many people here and involved. Commissioner Chrisman had an excellent opening comment on why we're here and what our role is. And I just want to emphasize is that we sit and listen. We do ask questions for clarification so we can make the appropriate decision based on the siting law in which we're required to do. So again, I just want to appreciate your time, your willingness to get engaged in the process that could be affecting your community. And I look forward to hearing from many of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dawson.
Judge Hogan, good morning. I am Timothy Dawson. I'm the Director of the Office of Administrative Hearings. As such, I sit as an administrative law judge like Judge Hogan does. I've done that many times for hearings for the Public Service Commission. Today, I sit as a substitute for Julie Fedorchak, who has recused herself. My title today is Substitute Decision Maker, but that is difficult to say, so just call me Mr. Dawson today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think I'll just note as far as exhibits, we are keeping a master exhibit list, so any new exhibits or exhibits offered today will be added to the running exhibit list. That exhibit list is available on the docket online, as are all the exhibits that have been entered into or accepted into the record up to this point. And I'll just ask before we move to testimony if there's any other preliminary matters we need to discuss. Mr. Bender?
Nothing.
Mr. Pelham?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Bakke?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Leibel?
No, Your Honor.
And Mr. Paranis? Okay.